So in the last episode, we talked about how similarities in life give us the sense of comfort and why it can happen so. So I think in this part we should continue this topic and think of what exactly makes us feel comfortable about similarities and what's the danger behind it.
So this is actually one of Hans' great concepts, and he talks about the burnout society. So because we all have this 9 to 5 lifestyle, we all have to get to work, we all have so much on our plates, and it's also driven by this culture that we have on social media, the 5 to 9 before my 9 to 5, that I need to achieve the best self that I have. This leads to your tired
Mm-hmm.
self, right?
Of course.
And so you get to the point where picking trends like, let's say, the clean girl aesthetic that we were talking about earlier, this is not something that people are choosing because they want to blend in as much as it is the easier option. So it makes life much easier. It's just one less thing to think about. This is also very present in there was once this person who was talking about how military minds work,
Mm-hmm.
and they were saying that military men don't waste time thinking about small decisions like what am I going to wear or what coffee am I going to order. So it's always the
Yeah.
same outfit.
Pre-described.
Exactly, same outfit, same drink, same everything, because they don't want to waste their mental capabilities on smaller things in life, and they just want to focus on more important things.
And I think it comes the same to rewatching the same shows. Sometimes it's easy to go and do it because it's something what you've already experienced. You don't spend time thinking what to watch. You know exactly what you can watch, and you turn it on. And at the same time, it's easier for you mentally because you're not thinking about new characters, new actions that gonna happen. You know exactly what's gonna happen in that show, and it gives you the sense of comfort and peace. So you don't need to memorize new characters, new events, and all of that. So I think rewatching, from some extent, is also a form of comfort food. Like we have comfort food, this is a comfort food for our brain.
And Hans actually mentions this with binge watching. It's like when we consume large amounts from the same thing. Again, it's with the shows, is that there is no difference,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the whole concept that he mentions in behind. That's the analysis of it, is that there is nothing different, nothing alarming, nothing that triggers you into something that is new or exotic, let's say, or
Yeah.
something out of what's familiar and what's ordinary. And this is also applied in various other topics. Don't you always notice that sometimes you haven't watched your comfort show in a very long time, but then your algorithm brings it up again, and suddenly your whole feed has videos from one of your favorite shows, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe I should rewatch it, and you go back into that loop. And it's much easier for us to say that the algorithm did this, right? But it's not that way. It's like if you look at the movie The Devil Wears Prada, when she points out that the two belts look exactly the same, and then Miranda gives her a whole speech about how this actually has history and there are people who are choosing this, and then it makes its way down to the regular stores that most people shop from. It's the same thing with trends
Algorithms.
and algorithms. Yes, exactly. And what actually happens is that there are companies that are predicting these trends
Yeah.
years ago, and then they are putting it out for these social media companies and for these creators, for these brands to actually use. So it's not like they're all copying from each other, they're actually just taking their information from the same space. So it's just
And there is a whole science behind it. And I remember back in my bachelor's degree, we discussed that there are this people called early adopters. It's the ones who are the first one to understand the trend. And of course, it's not coming from nowhere. It's coming from, just you explained a second ago, from the bigger companies, corporations that analyze the market, the situation in the world, people's needs. But these early adopters are the ones who making the trend go viral, and then in the end of the day, we as regular consumers um, see all of this and we feel like it's our own decision to go and watch something, but in the reality it was pre-described from a bigger corporations.
so we reach a point where these people who used to be different, right? You had the punk, you had the goth. Uh, the feeds actually strip mine them. They are very rare in today's age. They're very different from what's out there. And this goes back to Han when he was saying a proved difference can't act like a real other. And if we go to Baudrillard and take one of his famous examples, Disneyland, right? We all love Disneyland. And what's so magical about Disneyland is that it is not real, it's a fantasy. And it's so different from the outside world. And it makes the outside world that is real seem fake in comparison to this magical place that they
Perfect
have
place,
created.
yeah.
Exactly. And if we compare this to social media and what we're seeing now, then the Disneyland of posts would be the get ready with me. They would be the no makeup looks. They would be, come take a stroll with me. Let's go somewhere. Because
More
these,
life content.
exactly, this is what people feel is real and honest and genuine, even though it's not.
So,
It's also staged. It's also created.
filters applied, makeup, slight makeup before the no makeup look, yeah.
Exactly, and all of this is just altered so whatever is real isn't real, and whatever is fake is apparently also real. It's just a huge mess of
Yeah.
like, you can't tell if this is it or not.
Yeah, even like AI, we're talking about this today with you. Sometimes you can't even tell if it's AI or not. It's becoming all very complicated for us to identify what's real online.
And the thing is, once it reaches to this point, then fighting against it just seems futile. Because what are you fighting against if you can't really tell which side you're on?
Baudrillard also has this line that you are the model, and I think it's referring to the fact that we're shifting from watching to being watched. What do you think about it?
I think this really applies to what we were saying earlier with, performing your best self on social media, because this is what works well. You become the content, and you also become the measuring point, the data point that people reflect themselves on and they see themselves on. And this just creates more and more copies. And eventually there's just nothing real anymore. So this takes us back to this whole loop. But if we are striving for a happy ending, which we really want to reach at the end of this episode, it's necessary to note is that real experiences need friction. And what he means by that is that you need to go through something that resists. You need some form of life-changing traumatic event, basically, is how we call it nowadays. And in its core, it is just pain. Well, it's just painful to the creator because it will just, or to the person, not the creator, because you will have to resist, you will have to change, you will have to become different. And what sameness is now is it's the painkiller. So to want to change is very different, and it's very difficult for people nowadays. It's just not something that's possible anymore.
Extra effort.
Exactly, and no one wants to place that extra effort. No one wants to go the extra mile anymore, even though this is half of what social media is. It's self-actualization and reaching your new goals, but it's not clearly translated because the same goals are spread around for everyone. And it's goes back to the same loop of where we are all copies of each other.
And even most of the time it's happened subconsciously, just because what we feel
Exactly.
easy doing.
So what Han is basically saying in the end is to make the hard choice and leave, right, this loop that we're
Outside
in.
the box.
Yes,
basically.
go back outside the box, develop your own interests, develop your own tastes. And then if you want to actually go back to the question, is that whose perspective is right? Should we go through what is difficult, while Baudrillard, on the other hand, is saying that, what you think is going to be stepping outside of the box is already predetermined in the app. It's like we were just saying, is that even the people who are striving to change, who are going through the pain in their core, are just doing things that other people are also doing. So if we want to ask whose point is more accurate, Han or Baudrillard, there is no right answer. Whatever we say is just going to be fake at this point.
I think it's just a mix of factors, and each situation, of course, is different. But I think it is important to sometimes, especially in Dubai, because Dubai is a crazy city, sometimes you don't remember your roots or your true self because everything revolves around like fast life, work, money, I think it's very important just to find some you time on in pure peace when you think does bring you what brings you joy basically.
Yeah.
It's very important to analyze what are you what is your true passion is, because sometimes even in my personal life, every weekend, every Sunday evening, I think, okay, next weekend I'm gonna spend some time with me. I'm gonna do what I really want to do. I want to do this walk, I want to do this painting thing. And anyway, I end up seeing all of my friends. It's nice, but it's exhausting at the same time. It's the same routine that I'm going through. It's getting ready, driving somewhere, same matcha, same cafe every time. But then I come back home on Sunday evening exhausted, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, next weekend I'm gonna do whatever I really want to do. And it never happens. So I think it's very important just to analyze your feelings, track your emotions, and think, okay, what is it really what I enjoy doing, or it's something that is for, or it's like an easy option. And I think this will give you lots of answers to many questions, and this is what I'm starting to implement in my life. And next weekend I'm going to the beach by myself, I promise.
That's Alyssa's reflection. And
That's
to Han and Baudrillard, we just say Alyssa is figuring it out on her own.
yes,
And that's what she recommends to everyone else.
absolutely.